I want to do something a bit different today. I'm a phony. Let me get that confession right off. I don't read books. I never have read books. I am impetuous child of immaturity. I fight against. I constantly battle with my mortality. I constantly want to stop time. I constantly want to stop change. And I don't want to ever grow up. And I want to do a book review of Chesshero in the Rye. Because I'm arrogant enough to believe that I understand the story without ever fucking reading it. And because of that, I might be Holden Caulfield. The story of Chesshero in the Rye. Well, let me reference like how I even know about it. Like I know about it because I saw one video reviewing the book in sort of like a summary. And then I proceeded to look in the comment section with another smart, funny person. And I'm amazed because like what these kids can do with the internet now. Like the world is so much smarter because of the internet. Like when I look at some of these kids' videos, what they analyze at 20 years old is astounding. You know, I didn't get shit when I was 20. I feel like the world as a whole knows more. We're more intelligent. And IQ, you can't measure IQ like in a vacuum. Let's think that like Einstein's IQ relates to IQs today. It does not, because it's always based on an average. Like it's a whole stupid thing. IQ tests are made to measure children, and it's not really you have a history of a test for adults. And the medium is like the average intelligence of a normal person, of an average person. What the normal average of intelligence is in a vacuum of space and time that we need kind of a standard to measure off of. But this standard moves forward. So the people of today are smarter than the people of the 50s. And you got to understand that the writer of Chesshero in the Rye, I never even knew what that title meant until now. I was like, what the fuck does it mean? Is it about farming? And in a way, it is. What a foolish man I am. What a foolish man. How can you review a story that you've never even read? You arrogant piece of shit. How are you going to do this? There are so many smarter people that have done reviews of this book, have analyzed it, have annoyed the fuck out of J.D. Salinger until he was dead about making a movie about it. And I even believed, without knowing anything about the fucking story, that Good Will Hunting was a version of Chesshero in the Rye. And you know what? It fucking is. And how did I fucking know that? I had no idea what the story was. I just knew the title, and I knew it was, a book that they made a lot of my, well, not even me. Like, I wasn't made to read Chesshero in the Rye in school, but my parents, a lot of times, well, not my parents specifically, but people were made to, I think. I think it's popular for some fucking reason, and obviously that didn't include my parents or my life, but, somebody fucking read it, I think. Or, I have this illusion that people read it. No. I really do think people have read it. I don't think everybody's doing this insane thing that I'm doing and reviewing a book that I've never read. But isn't what I'm doing exactly like pretending to be an adult? Because I actually do feel that the idea of being grown up is a myth. It doesn't really exist. Because what qualities constitute being a grown up? And if you are immature in one place and not another, is there any kind of immaturity that denies your grown-upship? And if that's so, can you lose being a grown-up once you are? Or if you, not that you can lose a grown-up, or do you have to say that you were never really a grown-up because you could lose it? Because it's like accepting Jesus in your heart. Either you do it or and you're saved, or you don't and you're not. But if you at one point confess that you're going to be saved and you believe with all your heart, can you recant on it? Does it mean you were never really saved, or does it mean you can lose your salvation? Which one fucking is it? It's confusing, and I fight against this shit all the time, and I think that's what Catcher in the Rye is about. It's about the fight, the war I have in this life with mortality. The everyday fight to stop time passing, to stop change from happening. And I know what the title means now because Holden can't understand adults. He thinks they're fucking phonies. He thinks they have the wrong values, and they don't make sense. Why be an adult? And he sees himself as a tragic hero in a Robert Burns or Robert Frost or Burns poem, but it doesn't matter. Does it fucking matter? Somebody wrote a poem about a catcher in the rye, and Holden thinks he's this tragic hero with kids running through the rye to the edge of a fall or a cliff, and he has to save these children from falling off. He's a tragic hero in his own mind. But is he really? Is he really a hero? I don't know. Maybe. If we believe the Green Knight's tale, that the point of that is that, you don't really need the actions to become a good man or the accolades to be a good man. All you need to be a good man, really, is to try and be one. And that's beautiful. That's fucking beautiful. And in some ways, so is Holden. Tragic and beautiful. But is he a hero? Maybe? Maybe he is. I don't know. But I guess a hero if Willy Wonka's a hero. A hero if Peter Pan is a hero? For reference, they're not. Either of them are not heroes. Willy Wonka is a corporate giant who crushes a small town with his corporations and machinations, and it just eats away at these poor people living under the shadow of this chocolate factory. And what is chocolate essentially? To make money off of it, what does it entail? It entails appealing to the base nature of children. Instead of helping them learn and grow, feeding into their base desire for sugar, for pleasure, a lack of, which leads to a lack of satisfaction and pain, and it leaves you to be someone like Holden Caulfield. But that's not the point. Let's get back to Catcher in the Rye. So he's a tragic hero, and he's not able to connect with the adults in his life. He wants so desperately to be loved and to feel love. And his roommate is this, this kind of muscular, handsome jock guy who is going to go on a date with a girl that he's kind of been in love with for a long time. And that's crushing in itself. But then he asked Holden to write his English composition for him, because Holden's getting kicked out of school because he doesn't fucking care about it. He thinks it's for fakes, and the real people, they find love and connection out in the streets, and they're the real ones, and he tries to be that, but he's not that either. He's Holden is the center of the world viewpoint, and it's a childlike viewpoint that he never really escaped. Maybe the Holden that's telling the story has escaped it, and I think that is the beautiful thing, that the book starts with a Holden that seems to get some semblance of what's happening in his life. But it took all these things to happen for him to get there. So, he goes through desperately looking for love, and when his roommate goes on a date with his love or crush, he's crushed. And he comes back. Well, Holden goes and tries to hang out with people and distract himself from the obvious looming threat of his future happiness with the love that he has for this girl being completely shattered by this jock stealing her heart, this automaton of superficial ideals, taking away one of the only truths he feels he has left from his childhood, this girl that he had a crush on when he was young, when he was a child, and having that ripped away. In many ways, he's the tragic hero that's trying to save himself from the cliff. In many ways, he's the protector and guardian of innocence. Self-proclaimed at this point, but still. Something really crazy happens, because he does wear an adult hunting cap, a red hunting cap that he wears as kind of a symbol of his honor and his knighthood of being this catcher in the rye. And this is the thing, he's going to destroy the adults' world, their proclivities to understanding their world, their proclivities to being comfortable. He's going to destroy it all. He's going to burn it all down, because it's not the answer. In a way, he's trying to save the children that they were. In a way, your father is dead. I guess nothing's a lie in a way. Everything is true in a way, but then there's also nothing that's true in a way. I hate that line in Obi-Wan Kenobi, because it's obviously a retcon. A lot of the Star Wars lore is something that was made up after the fact. Like, the Jedi were never they're supposed to be an ancient religion that everybody's forgotten about and nobody knows anymore. That's this crazy old fanatic, or this crazy old man who people think is crazy is fucking spouting some ancient religions bullshit, and how the cult works on young, impetuous men that are staring off into the horizon, not knowing what to do with their lives, how religion and cult-like behavior affects them. And I think George Lucas was trying to write about the pull to kind of being a militaristic zealot for religion and giving your life for it. When it's ancient, it doesn't reflect humanity anymore. And that was supposed to be the Jedi, that was, because like even Vader, who espouses this religion, when bringing it to the would-be politicians and the would-be men of power in the galaxy, when he talks to these people, they call it an ancient religion. They call it an archaic religion. And obviously Vader is offended by this, and okay, I'm sorry. This video is not about Star Wars. Just the idea that kind of a lot of the lore is retconned. Because how does fucking nobody know about Anakin Skywalker and the atrocities he did that happened just like, a generation before, 20 years before that? 20 years before that? Or I don't know how many years, maybe 40 years before that, but still, it's like at least World War II, like this guy went at the heart of like the Galactic Senate in Coruscant and killed children in a temple dedicated to it's still like a cultish thing, isn't it? The Jedi, it's still, even retcon form is still a cultish thing. Like they take kids from their parents and they try to rid them of all attachment before they even understand attachment. That's kind of fucked. Okay, I'm sorry, because it's not about Star Wars, but in a lot of ways, in a way it is. In a way, it's about Star Wars. No, but Holden, the Catcher in the Rye, goes through life fighting all these things about adulthood, and really, one side of his hair is going gray, and that's the creeping of mortality, and on his everyday looking in the mirror, so devastatingly powerful. These scenarios that he's in, because he's just a boy looking for a connection so desperately. He's calling ex-girlfriends, or even girls he's just flirted with, even girls that don't think too much of him are willing to give him a chance. And then when that all fails, he starts trying to connect with a girl that he can pay to spend time with. He doesn't have much money. He's a kid, at heart. So, he finds a girl that people tell him, she'll do stuff with you for $5, which is kind of the equivalent of, maybe close to 50 now? I don't know. I don't know what the equivalency would be, but, it's quite a bit of money. She asks for double that because she's getting pissed and bored, and he just wants to talk because he's somewhat keeping himself from the edge, being the Catcher in the Rye of his own innocence, because he's a virgin. So he doesn't want this to be superficial or stupid or be for a thing that didn't mean anything, that was paid for. And she's just like, can I have my pay, please? So he gets really annoyed and doubles the fee for, not even having sex with him. Just this conversation was annoying because this conversation led to her actually thinking about her own place in her life, like what she was doing with herself, and she had to fight this back at Holden. She's just like, oh, fuck you for making me think about my life now and what I'm doing here. Now you have to pay me double. And she have sex with him, and she wants double because the conversation was more taxing than just fucking her. It would have been better if he just fucked her and let her go, because this fucking devastation that he feels is now in her head, and she's thinking about her life, so she retaliates hardcore. She's like, fuck you, Holden. This is more devastating than an old guy getting me pregnant or giving me syphilis. This is worse. This is existential crisis bullshit, and you have to pay me double now. And Holden's like, I don't have fucking double. I'll give you what I told you I'd pay you, but we didn't even do anything like we said we were gonna do. And she's like, gets out of there, but she brings back, the dudes that, the big bodyguards that, if people don't want to pay, they say, beat you up, you asshole, kind of their enforcers to get paid, and threatens Holden, and Holden gives him another $5. So he ends up giving her $10, and then he still punches Holden in the stomach and leaves him broken and embarrassed again. And isn't that what we do when we're growing? Isn't that the way we all grow? We're trying to make a connection, giving everything we have, our last $5, and getting punched in the stomach for it. And ironically, this is probably the best thing that happened from him calling a prostitute. Like, and really, in a way, in a very real way, that Holden understands more through his tragedy than he does if things were to go the way he wanted. And it's chef's kiss. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. People are waking up now. My grandfather's dead, and everything's different, and maybe I'm fighting change. Somebody coming downstairs, it kind of be interruptive, but we'll see what kind of interaction will help with somebody. No, I think they're okay. I'm walking down backwards. It must be my aunt. It is my aunt. Hey, what's going on?
What?
What's going on?
Oh, we have that meeting?
Oh, right. We gotta go, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to go cremate my grandfather. But I do want to finish this review. So, I'll give you the bullet points, because it's already been almost 23 minutes of a review of a book I never read. How do I have so much to fucking say about a book in a way, I'm insane. That's the bottom line. In a way, I'm insane, but also in a way, I'm kind of a guru. I don't know what I am. In a way, I'm the catcher in the rye. In a very real way, I'm Holden Caulfield. And I think everybody that reads that book, when they love it, they truly feel like Holden as well. We're all desperately seeking love and a connection, and it often backfires and leaves us broken and embarrassed and completely feeling like a worthless piece of shit. And, I'm doing this as a recording right now, and I fucking hate my voice. But, it's unique. It's very unique because people are, I'm a songwriter, so if I cover a song, people, I'll get criticized if I sing the song the way that the writer, the originator of that song did it. If I sing a Modest Mouse song, God damn it, you better do it in your style, in Sito's style, you better do that, because if you do it boring like the guy did it, because the covering song is kind of boring in nature, and the guys that do that, it's because their music hasn't gotten the credibility to where people will sit and watch them for their own music, and they kind of are put into this place that they want to play and perform in front of people, and do that as a little bit of a job and make money for it, but then they're kind of automatons playing, not doing much more than a jukebox, but it's still live music and it's still something people want to hear. But, all those guys that do that, I know one named Jesse Dominguez, who's been doing that for about 20 years now, and I know there's such beautiful music in him, and I know he's tried. In a lot of ways, he's like Holden Caulfield. I don't know if this will ever reach you, Jesse, but you're a good guy, man, and we're all Holden Caulfield. In a way, we are. Such an idiot. I'm such a fucking idiot. But if you're hearing this, it means you're listening. You're not just hearing me. You deliberately put this on and you're listening. And whether that's happening right now, or whether it's happening in 10 years, or whether it's happening in 5 years, I'm making that very real connection that Holden was seeking. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saving me from the edge of the cliff. Thank you for being that catcher in the rye. Jesus H. Christ. That's me too. I got such a bad savior's complex that people have figured that out about me and have used that I will help them even if I would never sleep with them or never date them. What do you do when your heart's too big and it hurts you? What do you do when the good parts of who you are, the parts that want to save everyone, are to your detriment? Do you still do them? I tried to save Casey. He had a baby named Delilah. Perfect little baby. Didn't deserve to suffer, but I knew in this world she would, so I killed her. No, I did not kill her. I did, and she's still alive. Delilah's still alive. Don't. I didn't kill her. I was just kind of re-implementing that catcher in the rye ideal, just saving her from this world, by killing. And it's just the whole theme of saving to my detriment and saving to others' detriment, really, because killing her would be the end of her. It doesn't save her, really, does it? Does it save her if her soul just goes to another, being born again right after that? Or is there any time when you're dead, so you just go from one life to the next, even though a million years could have passed? I don't know, in a way, I guess. How did that, in a way, go from lying to being so profoundly, existentially deep for me? I don't even understand my own journey. And I'm Holden Caulfield. Holden, because he's holding back time. He's holding back maturity. He's holding back growth. And I would say that, no, he's not a tragic hero. He is a tragic hero if Peter Pan is a tragic hero. And Peter Pan is after the god Pan. and a trickster god who leads kids away. The Pied Piper story is kind of about that too. But no, I'm not a hero. Holden's not a hero. We're Peter Pan, and we don't want to grow up, but we can't stop growing up, and we will, regardless of our fight. And it's ironically through our fight that we grow more, and that's the story of Catcher in the Rye. I thank you, and I bid you adieu, and I said good day.